Always muted. I'm sorry. I'm always muted. I'm sorry, sorry, sorry. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm always muted. Hi, Misfit. I don't know what's going on with me these days. Hi, Margene. Hi, Susie. Hi, Angie. Hi, Mayor. Big Bad Wolf. Um, I had who else did I see in here? Jenny O. How are you doing? Michelle LaBelle, Baked Over the Rainbow. Um, Let me get that. So I'm not going to keep you guys long, but I wanted to share this. Hi, Snake. Snake, Snake, Snake. Hi. Gwen Branston. Hi. Crazy Cat Mama. Power of the Plus Plus. I can't. I just can't with you. I just can't with you, woman. I really can't. So it's a beautiful day here, but this story came to me, and I want to introduce you to these people. And this is Ephraim Allen Jr. and Psycho here is Takesha Williams. Okay. This is the worst, worst child abuse story I have ever heard. And guys, I have the affidavit here in front of me and I'm reading it. I also have the press conference they did, but this is a story about a 3-year-old boy who was put on the ventilator after an accident in 2020 in Davenport, Florida. He had home health care. The doctors, when the accident happened, the doctors told the parents that the little boy needed to be taken off of the ventilator, be taken off of life support because he wasn't going to make it. They didn't want to listen to the doctors. They opted to take the little boy home. At the time they took him home, he was on a ventilator and there was home health care nurses there to take care of him. Okay. Um, I don't know if you guys have heard this story. Oh, Nurse Jen, you heard it. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. Yes. So this happened. The accident was in the summer of 2020, where on May 12th, the mother called 911. Um, she called and said that her son, that his oximeter wasn't working, but um, it wasn't an emergency, basically. So the little boy was laying, and they said Sabine, which he's laying upward, okay, on a hospital bed with intensive injuries and trauma to include large avulsions, which is a tear or break in the skin, but they were really huge. Hi, Cosmic Crazy, how are you? On his buttocks. It was so bad that his rectum was non existent, okay? Um, his colon was visible. There were several abrasions on his back, which were consistent with the bed sores. The, the decedent smelled of decom- decomposition, and rigor mortis was non existent. The stomach was bloated and appeared to have semi marbling and was a green color. There are photographs I'm not going to show. I'm just going to let you listen to the press conference. I'm not showing these photos. Let me just let you listen to this press conference real quick. And this is sad. Fair use. Let me make this bigger. Oh no, I don't want to put it on my TV. No, I'm gonna put it here. Okay. I'm so sorry. This is the sheriff, and I think his name is Gray Judd. I think that's his name, Gray Judd.
Very serious. And then there are some that are tragic and horrifically sad. And that's what this one is about today. I'm about to release information to you that probably before I get halfway through this press conference, you will be thinking, why in the world is he saying these horrible things? Well, you need to know. You need to know in the real world, when people don't do what's right, really, really, really bad things happen. So we're going to tell you what this child experienced at the hands of their parents because the parents didn't do the right thing. I want to introduce you to the parents, to Keisha Williams, who's 24, and Ephraim Allen Jr., who's 25. Here's when it all began.
Remember back when
Oh
eggs were
my
only
goodness, hold
$1.20 per
on.
dozen?
I hate this. Okay.
In July of 2020, when this beautiful baby boy was only 10 months old, he suffered a near drowning experience at a short-term rental in the northeast area of the county. A near drowning. He toddled off into the pool. There was life-saving efforts to try to save this baby's life. When they got him to the hospital at the conclusion of all of their valiant efforts, the child had no brain activity, could not even blink his eyes, cannot move his extremities, and quite frankly, it was recommended to the parents that he be removed from any life-saving measures because the child would forever be in a coma with no brain activity. They didn't want to do that. So ultimately, these parents were sent home with their infant on a ventilator, a permanent ventilator, with a stomach tube, and health care, home health care 3 times a week. Now that went on for over 2 years. As of last October, the parents began to reject the home health care. Despite the healthcare company's best efforts, they would not be home, would not answer the door. So the last time home health care dealt with this child was in October of last year.
Yeah.
Understand, all of this was occurring at absolutely no cost to the parents.
No
In
cost.
fact, the mother was receiving benefits to stay home and take care of this baby. So let's fast forward to Friday, May the 12th. There's a 911 call to the city of Bartow, to the Azalea Apartments where they live, where the mother said, you know, the child's pulsometer is not working correctly. This is really not an emergency. You don't need red lights and sirens, but we'd like fire to come over and check the baby. So they responded to the house in a normal, routine fashion. And when they arrived, they saw this child hooked up to a ventilator. And this ventilator was working appropriately, but there appeared to be no life in the child. This child had an extremely extended stomach, and it was green. This child was rotting in the bed.
Okay. Let me just pause that there. Crazy Cat Mama asks if he was decomposing while he was alive. No. He was rotting. The oximeter was not working. He had been there and he had really been deceased for a while. That's why they said rigor mortis was non-existent. And yes, I did cover Summer Wells. And I'm going to try to see what kind of updates there are for Summer Wells. So I will be doing an update on that. Hi, Terry Lynn. But this is a very, very sad story. So it was kind of low. So I turned my mic on and I hope you guys can hear it now. So let me get back to that.
They rushed this baby to the hospital, where for over an hour or about an hour, between EMS, fire services, and medical personnel. They tried to save this baby's life. At the hospital, when they started taking off the diapers and the clothes, they noticed ulcers, large gaping wounds through the body down into the muscle. They noticed there was no rectum. There was just a big gaping hole where the intestines and the spinal column was visible. They notified the Bartow Police Department, who immediately said, hey, we need the sheriff's office to assist us. This is a very complex investigation. So our homicide team responded. We noticed immediately the child smelled of decomposition. We went back to the house where the child laid lifeless as it had for 2 years and smelled decomposition in the room.
If you're thinking about buying or selling
Oh,
a house
sorry.
anywhere within about 45 minutes of Spokane, including the blue areas on this map.
Okay, let me just pause this here. So it smelled of decomposition. The doctors told them the little boy had no brain activity, nothing at all. The family refused, and I don't know what I would do if I was in that position, but I would hope that I would do what's right for my child. I would hope they would do the same thing for me. But this is a disgusting story. Now, with that, Ephraim has he's 25, and you heard that, but he's had a couple of run-ins. In June of 2016, he was stopped with possession of marijuana. He was sentenced. Don't know how long he was in there. And then June 4th of 2018, he was another traffic thing. We had an open container of alcohol in the vehicle. So that case is pending. And I'm like, since 2018, maybe he was on a run. Don't know. But since 2018, the case is pending. Let's go.
The medical doctor at the emergency room said this child has not had the appropriate care for months. The medical examiner at the autopsy said the child had sepsis, bilateral pneumonia, stage 5 ulcers, obvious not child neglect. So we talked to the parents and we go, what is going on here? They said, well, they didn't want DCF to take their children, so they didn't call.
In this case, Gator Hater,
but they had tried to get more home health care. So we introduced ourselves to the potential health care providers, and they said, we accepted them. We went there and wanted to see the child. They said, don't wait the child.
Yep. So let me stop that right. They wanted to see the child. They decided to go and get help when they knew that he was getting all of these bed sores. I think then they knew the little boy was this. The timeline for me is off. This little boy was rotting in that bed. How do you live in a house with that smell? So when social services showed up, home health care providers showed up, they would never get to see the kid. They were like, well, we're just interviewing you right now. So they was trying to set up something here.
Child up today. This is just an introduction. And the next time they went, nobody answered the door. So obviously they were trying to create a facade or to say, well, we asked for help. They let this baby rot and die in its bed.
Yep.
I've done this for 5 decades. I have seen thousands of children.
This man is
abused,
hurting.
Hundreds of children murdered at the hands of parents. I have never seen the horror that we saw with this poor child at the hands of these two folks. I talked to all the detectives in the room. Have you ever seen anything like this in your life? No one has. You can't even imagine how horrible the wounds, the ulcers that this child endured at the hands of these folks.
Yep. So let me just say this: when this happened, they both were arrested with 1 count each of negligent child abuse causing great harm to this 3-year-old child. As of May 26th, the charges were updated to aggravated manslaughter of a child.
They're charged with aggravated manslaughter, among other
Oh, he
charges,
just said it.
at this time.
Yep, they have 2
They're
other
locked
kids.
up in the county jail with a bond of $100,000. The state attorney's office actually filed direct
Thank you, Margene,
once
for the
we got the
memberships.
initial medical examiner's report. The state attorney's office, Brian Haas, our state attorney, who is simply the very best, is game on every day. And I'm certain if you talk to him, he would be as mortified as we all are that this baby was left in this condition. My job is to protect children, to protect everyone. But my heart is with protecting the very youngest, because you see, they have no choice of where they live or what they eat
Oh my God, I'm missing.
or what they wear or who they associate with. It's up to parents to make the right decisions.
Yes, it is.
And I suggest to you the right decisions haven't been made since this child was 10 months old and suffered a horrible, horrible, horrible tragedy. And then I suggest to you, and this is only supposition on my part, they just got tired of the baby. They just got tired of the intensive care
I
this
believe
child
that.
needed. And as a result, the child laid there and suffered and suffered and suffered till finally there was no life left in the baby. There's nothing else I can tell you. If you have any questions, there's still nothing else I can tell you. You know what we know.
Mm.
The other children appear to be in good health.
Yep, they are.
Well, the legal system can only do what the legal system can do. But God's not happy. And it'll be up to God past what the legal system can do. But there's no way, no ability to imagine the torture this child has endured.
So, guys, let me just pause this for a second. So, I'm looking at everyone, what they're saying in the chat. They were doing it for the check, and I believe so too. But let's just to note that Ephraim, whatever his name is, he was not staying at the home, but he was helping her to take care of the child. And according to the affidavit, for the last month or so. So, this is crazy. But they said that she waited until approximately 1,500 hours to call 911. She waited. And when she did call, she said it wasn't urgent, that the oximeter may just be malfunctioning. But the child depended on this oximeter. It's just sad. And I love this sheriff. So, guys, I went to their website. They just did a big drug bust. They did a big bust on a pedal ring for kids. But let me finish this out.
The indication
I
to
like
us
this
is
man.
the child has been comatose from the very beginning, to the
Yep.
point there was no reaction. The child couldn't even blink his eyes. So my prayer would be that the child was in a deep enough state that he wasn't aware that was of what was happening to him.
That's what I'm
But
praying
I don't
for.
know that.
We don't know.
I would be hesitant to release the DCF information. I think once before they had an investigation
Yes,
way
they
back
did.
in the day, but nothing
The other
significant.
2 kids, of course, have been removed.
Well, first off, they have to be removed because they're in jail, and ultimately, our goal is to send these folks to prison for just as long as we can send them to prison, and then from there, God's got to take over. But I've never seen. I just there's not words to explain this. There's not words to describe this. You think in this world we live in, it's impossible for parents or anyone to treat a child like this. They let this baby lay in that bed and rot to death. All of them. The pictures were horrific. It was even more horrific for my detectives and supervisors who were there and had the horrible stench to go along with it.
Mm.
It is just, there's no words to explain. And I've seen some really bad stuff in my career. I have never seen anything like this. You will never unsee this.
The pictures are
You
horrible.
live to be 100 years old. You will never unsee this.
So if they felt overwhelmed, they should have left the child in the hospital. Like the doctor said, there was no life, no quality of life.
Parents who feel overwhelmed, who have children that are presenting challenges for them, there's help. You only
Yep.
have to reach out. We live in a wonderful state. We live in a wonderful community. We live in a wonderful country. No child has to be left in this condition.
No.
No child. And we deal with a lot of death because parents won't take care of children
Yep.
or are negligent.
Yep.
I've never seen anything like this. And this is just my supposition. I told you. They were just tired of the baby.
And that's what I believe
And
too. They were
what do
tired
do
of it.
now?
They were tired of the child.
It's bad. We'll see you on the next one. I'll promise you it won't be as bad as this one.
Thank you,
no matter
Sheriff
how
Brady.
bad it is. Take care.
Thank you. So guys, yes. Snake, thank you for the 1999. Margene, I saw you sent gifts. Thank you very much for that. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt while he was speaking, but this case and 1,500. See, I was thinking, wait a minute, is it really 1,500 hours, or is that 3:00? But no, I read it again, and they said 1,500 hours, and I'm like, oh my God, this shit is sad. So, and someone said that she had been out, and so in the state of Florida, okay, aggravated manslaughter of a child is a first-degree felony, and is punishable by up to life in prison, and a $10,000 fine. I don't really care about the $10,000 fine. I want them to rot in prison. 62.5 days. So they said he had been rotting there. He was rotting. He had this marble-ish color. He had no rectum. He was rotting. Oh my God. See, and I heard about him before, and then I just started looking at what they've been doing. So I think I'm going to cover me a lot of Grady Judd. They just busted a pedal ring in Florida. I think last week, a week before last. Um, and I do believe what he said, that they were tired of this child. They were tired of the child, but she was still getting paid to stay home. Home health care was coming to the home 3 days a week. So that means that the other 4 days, you and your boyfriend, who doesn't live there, is responsible for taking care of this child. But he had bet, oh my God, the smell would have been enough. Thank you. They said the smell of decomp was so strong. It was that strong. So what my question is, when the home healthcare workers went to the home, did they not smell this? Or did they have the door closed? Or maybe they realized that they were smelling something, so the next time they came by, they just didn't open the door. But if you know, they taught them how to clean out the trach and everything else. But if you know that this kid is in that home, and I can't blame it on them. I can't blame it on them. But I would have reported, hi, mama's the boss. I just don't know. It makes me sick. But in the end, they refused home health care, so no one else was in the house. It was just her and the child and the two other kids. I think one is 10 months old, and the other one, I think, is 10 months and 2, I think. Yeah, 10 months and 2. He doesn't live there, but they still have time to keep making babies. So, first of all, this happened to this little boy when he was 10 months old, drowned in an accident. You got your hands full with trying to take care of this kid. And then you go have another kid. And then you have another kid. Let's look at them again. I just need to put them up again. Look at her. He's short. They said 42 inches. So I need to look at that. He's short. When he was arrested in 2016, he weighed 121 pounds. This is, what did Drea say? Let's see. It's like Dahmer in the apartment building. It's, yeah, you know what? Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Nope, they didn't. And they were there before, and then they just told them they didn't want them to come back when he first came home. Oh, they were home. Oh, they did say no one answered the door. But does that mean they weren't home, or they just didn't open the door because the smell was so prominent that you couldn't mask that smell any longer? That is my question. That really is my question. See, that's what I'm saying. But wouldn't, if you're being paid to take care of your child in this condition, wouldn't social services show up at your home to check on this child? Because the state is paying you. So that's what I'm trying to understand. Yep, 24/7. But I thought social services, especially for child is in that condition, this is, the state is paying for this. You're being paid to stay home and take care of this child. Didn't anyone ever go service this machine? Did anyone make sure the machine was calibrated correctly? You know, all of this stuff has to be done. Somewhere or another, something fell through the cracks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking up for the parents at all. Not at all. But there's more here than just the parents. Okay. They should have called CPS when no one answered. And thank you, because he couldn't have left the house. He was hooked up to a ventilator 24/7. There is no remorse in her eyes. She looks angry. He just looks like, oh, well. She looks pissed off. And she said the reason why they didn't call earlier is because they were scared that the other kids would be taken away. But the sheriff himself said the other 2 kids looked like they were well taken care of. And that trach has to be cleaned daily. This is a story that I just couldn't believe this. I could not believe this. She's pissed. She is mad. So, and I was just reading this, and then, it was like the other story that I told you about, this young girl that laid on her parents' couch and melted into the sofa, which I got to do a follow-up on that too. That was a serious case, and that was an adult neglect. And these parents had money. She laid on that sofa and melted into that sofa. It's disgusting. And they said the smell there was horrible as well. Let me see, can I find this picture of this girl in this sofa? Let me see, because she melted into the sofa. And you can see the decomp on the sofa and no, I don't think I want to show you guys that, but I covered that about 2 months ago, I think. She actually melted in the sofa. And the parents, and the whole time, the parents are out taking, they're taking Christmas pictures. They all in front of the Christmas tree. They're happy-go-lucky. And their daughter is laying on this damn sofa and melting in it because, it was disgusting. Hold on, let me see, can I find that? I just took it out of my brain because every time I saw it, but I am going to follow up on that story as well. And that was in Louisiana. I'm going to follow up on that one as well. She melted in the sofa. But I told you I wasn't going to keep you long, and I'm sorry I start your Friday evening, but I just wanted to share this because tomorrow I'm going to do Natalia Grace, and I still got to get some stuff together for that and pull some more documents so I can make sure that I get this correct. I'm trying to find this sofa, guys, and I know these pictures are so damn small. I can't find it, but I'll find it because I'm going to do a follow-up on that case. But I wanted to share this story with you, and I didn't know if a lot of you had heard about this case or not. When medics asked them what happened, they said they did. They said it was a long story. Yep, I'm serious. She melted into the sofa. And these are parents with money. Money. She said when she went to bed that night, her daughter was fine and laughing. And they said that young woman had to be deceased for, I forgot the number of hours, but I'm going to do a follow-up on that too, to see if they charged the parents. Oh, Dre, you have to tell me about this panel. I was going to put up a, thank you, Gator Hater. I was going to put up a poll because I want to know, since everybody seemed to have watched it, I want to know, do you think when Natalia was, and I'm going to put it up, when she was abandoned, as they said, abandoned, do you think she was 13, 16, or 22? 13, 16, or 22. I saw her mother, and her mother said that Natalia was born in, what did she say? The mother was born in 79, and they proved that Natalia was her daughter. Shit, she looks just like her. You haven't watched it? She was only 8. Okay, Big Up says 16. Okay, 16. Okay. It's the Curious Case of Natalia Grace. It's the name of it. The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. So I have to load up some photos and some other things about this. There is Jacob. So this is what I was looking at. When she was interviewed after that incident at the cow pasture, this girl does not look like she is 6 or 7. And I'm going to have to get a better picture. She looks every bit of a woman to me right there. Every bit, her language, her speech, everything tells me she is older than what they claim she was. 16, okay. Yeah, she said that the doctor, what channel? It was on ID Discovery. It was on ID Discovery. Now it should be on Max. Yes. So Natalia is coming out this summer and she's going to speak on this. But when I looked at this picture, and I'm just going to show you because I'm going to load these up. This is a 6-year-old girl. She's 6 years old. That's the little girl, Teresa, that they've had the same dwarfism as Natalia. There is no way in this picture Natalia is 6. This other little girl is 6. There's no way in this picture that Natalia is 6 years old. I do believe she was like, I'm going to say, because when the mechanic was talking, he said she had breasts. She wore underwear that grown people would wear. When they said they picked her up from the orphanage, Shepherd's Care, she had a cycle. Now, I know some young girls that started at 8 or 9, but she had full pubic. She had breast. She was always propositioning men. I'm thinking she was overly sexualized. She was trying to get to people's sons. I'm thinking 17, 18. That was last year. And yeah, so, and his divorce, I'm trying to pull his divorce documents, is what I'm trying to pull. This woman, the mother, that piece of shit, I do believe she was evil, guys. I really do. I believe she was evil. But her husband, he's overly dramatic. He got on my nerves sometimes. And I just can't with him. But I am interested to see what you guys have to say about this. See, so I think that, well, shit, I don't want to talk about it today. We'll talk about it tomorrow because I'm really into this. Yes, it's on HBO Max. Yes. So this is, and she actually told people that she was trying to kill her mother, her father, and her brothers. She told this old lady, McCallum is her name, Sue McCallum, whatever her name was, I can't remember, that she had pulled a knife and she wanted to kill her family. These people aren't making this stuff up. See, that's just it, Drea. In the order they told the story. 1 minute I'm looking, I'm like, wait a minute. How did we get here? It's the way they told the story. The editing was horrible. The editing was horrible. But if you guys haven't watched it, please watch it because it is an interesting case. She was on Dr. Phil. He was on Dr. Phil before her. Then she went on Dr. Phil. If you haven't seen the clip of Dr. Phil, the name of the show is The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. I have my thumbnail up. I'm going to do it tomorrow morning at 8. She told Dr. Phil she was 16, but they had the DNA test. Okay, that's fine. I don't know if the mother's not. I don't know. But when they took her for the genealogy and the bone and everything else, and the fact when she came into the country, she had not grown an inch. And the judge said you stopped growing at 16 or 17, and he deemed her to be 22 years old. Yes. Yep. Thank you, Drea. I'm going to take a look at it. Yep. That's true. The judge deemed her to be that because they found the paperwork when she was brought into the country, her height and everything else. And they said when they showed her the picture, she didn't even recognize herself. So she was being evaluated. They kept telling her. So, okay, we're going to go over that tomorrow. But anyway, I wanted to bring you this case. I don't want to keep you guys long. I know this is Friday night. People have plans. And I haven't been live on a Friday in a while. So, and I had to check to make sure I didn't see anyone else going live. But again, I'm going to keep checking on this case with Takesha Williams and Ephraim Allen Jr. His dad has a record too. I saw that. But I'm going to keep checking on this. And I'm just like, you were scared that your other kids were going to be taken, but you didn't try to get help for the kid that the doctors and the hospital asked you and begged you, not to take this kid home. There was no quality of life there. There was no brain activity. There was no nothing. So, see, that first adoption, that's what I need to find out about. Damn, I forgot. I was supposed to be looking about that first adoption, which I'm sure, but just the way they say that they brought Natalia to them didn't sound right to me. They were complaining about the area that the adoption agency was in and everything else. Who says the adoption agency has to be? But you should have known something was fishy when you got a phone call and said, you got 24 hours to make up your mind and you need to be here on this date. How desperate were you to get an adoptive child? You were bragging it, but you had hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. You had a Lamborghini in your driveway. And then you're crying and boo-hooing because you're scared of your fucking wife because she's evil. The hoe that was sitting there trying to send pictures and talking about going down on a little person and being sexual with a little person when you're talking to him about the child that you're thinking about adopting. That to me made no sense. She's with a pastor and his wife, but this lady, Christina, oh my God, I can't think of her name. Mays Hans, whatever her name, I got notes. According to him, they took her food cart, which she had $500 on. They changed her Social Security checks to come to them, and then she got evicted. That makes no sense to me if she was staying with them. So, yeah, I'm going to see. Yeah. And they all sitting there blaming them. But what I see is the charge they did was child abandonment. Then you want to change it to abandonment of a disabled person. Come on now. I like his team of lawyers, though. I really did. Yeah, it says 6, but it's actually 1, 2, 3. They're like 1's 2 hours, 1, 2.5. Yeah, just binge it because I'm covering it. But thank you guys. I appreciate you being here. I really, really, really do. I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go for a walk. Yes, you heard me right. Look. Yep, you heard me right. I'm going for a walk. I'm going to go for a walk. Okay. It's called The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Hold on. Let me show you. Hold on. The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. So let me find the image so you'll see what it looks like. But it's a curious. Let me show you. Let me share my screen real quick. Present. This is Natalia Grace. This is the way it looks. This is the curious case of Natalia Grace. This is Natalia Grace right now. I guess she did an interview on Entertainment Tonight, but I'm serious. To me, I just don't know what to make of this. This is when she was on whatever was when she was on Dr. Phil. He's over the top. He's over the top. This was supposed to be her when she came into the country. This is her when they got her. Well, she was around. She doesn't even look 6 then. She didn't. She didn't. She didn't. She didn't. These are the parents. This is a hoe. He's a simpleton. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. He's a simpleton. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's overly dramatic. Overly dramatic. Here's the paperwork that shows when she came into the country, everything. So that's the story that I'm going to do tomorrow morning. That's Natalia Grace. Yeah, it's on YouTube too. Hi, dudes. Hi. How are you? So, I hope you guys watch it. And hopefully you're able to join us tomorrow morning. I'm going at 8 my time. So that's 10 o'clock Central and that's 11 o'clock Eastern. So hopefully you guys will be here. You better be up, Margene. And thank you, Margene. Hold on a second. I saw you gifted memberships, Margene. I'm so sorry. I meant to say thank you for the gifted memberships. You gifted 5 memberships. Sherry received 1. Jenny has 1. Piper, Mary, Andy got 1. Mayor has 1. And Pat Alexander received a membership. Thank you, Margene. I had to pull my phone up so I can see it. Thank you. Thank you. So again, the judge ruled for 22, which will make, I don't think she's 33 though. So, but I get your point. But what's your time now, Heidi? My time is 5. So Gwen, I'm going at 8 my time. Is 9 your time. You're an hour ahead of me. So it'll be 9 your time, unless you don't do, I don't think you do, wait a minute, do you? I don't know. But right now it's 5:48 my time. I know you used to be an hour ahead of me because you're like Denver. You're an hour ahead. So binge it tonight, Sherry, because I know you're going to have a lot to say. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys tonight. And I just wanted to come in and share that story. Okay, we're on the same time zone now. Okay, alarm is set. But one point, Gwen, you were an hour ahead of me, but you don't do that that time, going back and stuff. Going on 9 p.m. here. Okay, so yes, it's going on 9 there. So that makes you going to be Eastern for me. So that'll be 11 o'clock your time because I'm going at 8. Mary, you're in Canada, so you're Eastern on that part. You're on the Eastern side. So yes, that'll be 11 o'clock your time in the morning. So 8 my time, 10 Central, and 8 Pacific, 10 Central, 11 Eastern. All right. I love you guys. Have a good evening. Hopefully, I'll see you in another chat. I'm going to be sitting here working and pulling all of these pictures and stuff together and documents. So we can have those for tomorrow. And I want to write a little essay on every one of those people that were talking and what I found about them. But the lady in the gray sweats and the black and white top, she cracked me the hell up. She never showed her face, but she had so much to say. So everyone have a wonderful, wonderful evening. We're supposed to have a beautiful weather here this weekend. So let me see what I can get into. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Bye. Have a good evening. Bye, guys. Thank you for coming.